Man has been endowed with so much power. But in the state of the powerless nature of man tends to seek solace in external powers.
What does the year 2026 hold?
The year 2026 is, by numerological interpretation, is the number one. When I talk about personality development, people don't get it. People think they think they're going to participate in a course to develop mystical, magical, and they speak some angel will be flying with they're flapping their wings and all that. They are more potential, that are more profound than angel flapping their wings or dealing with the mythical creatures.
Mr. Mensah, not to conclude, but to ask up a follow-up question. What should we as an individual do for this year so that his or her businesses, her life will be established for him or her to get that benefit?
Okay, so
hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Ways Network, where we learn and we seek knowledge about everything around us, ourselves, God, and everything around us. You are most welcome. I am about to speak to the leader and founder of the Way Network, Mr. Mensah. You are welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Elias.
We are here once again from the long break. Everybody has been asking, where is the Way Network? What is it for us in 2026? And we are here to ask, how has your break been in a way?
Thank you very much. And to our cherished viewers and listeners, I want to officially welcome you back to our first edition recording, streaming for the year 2026. We had a long break trying to restructure things and trying to reorganize ourselves, because I think for the past 2 years and a little bit over, I have solely been doing the presentation, and we wanted to spice up a little bit and then change the dynamics a little bit. So I thought of we should have some kind of engagement form of interview, because I know myself and I know when I engage in some kind of interview, I'm able to deliver more and go deeper than following a structured presentation format. So in the year 2026, as you can see now, I'm making live streaming recording. It's an interview session which I'm being drilled in what I call the orange chair, and they should expect very deep discussion. They should expect things that you wouldn't find it anywhere on the internet being discussed in details. And for the Way Network, we are not here to hide any truth. We are here to speak as much as we know and we experience. We are not the custodian of ultimate knowledge, but the little that we have learned so far and we keep learning, we want to share. So we are here to share knowledge. So the year 2026, they should expect more knowledge to be shared. That is one. So most of our interviews will be more of an engagement interview format. That is for the Way Network. And then we set up the mystical platform. We call it the Way Mystic. Okay, when you go to YouTube, you can subscribe to the Way Mystic. Now, in the Way Mystic, what we're going to do there is to teach all these mystical practices, because fundamentally the Way Network itself is meant for human development, meant for personality development. It's meant to develop the persona of the audience, so that they can become competitive, whichever field they may find themselves. They become very competitive in their marriages. They become very competitive in their offices. They become very useful to human society. It's not in mystics that makes you useful, but it's in developing your persona, developing your character, developing your behavioral patterns, developing the way you think, the way you react, the way you assimilate information, digest information, and then react to the information. This defines your personality and makes you very functional in human society and become beneficial to human existence. So the way network itself is designed for that, and that is what probably a lot of people didn't understand. So yeah, that's but studying the paradigm of people's desire and people's questions and then expectations, I noticed that a lot of the people too are more into mystics things. So we decided to set up a separate independent handle or channel that would handle that aspect of people's quest. And so we have the way mystics, and in the way mystics we are going to teach about mystical things from healing to health to marriage to business to favor to spiritual baths to lifting up people's energy vibration, to how to nullify a curse, if the bad spell, if you feel there are bad exits against you, your family, how do you protect your family, how do you protect your house, your space, and all that in a mystical way, using the herbs and natural elements from the four elements to protect your space. So you learn to do certain basic things for yourself. How do you influence people? How do you get people to favor you? How do you make anybody that comes into your domain have some kind of favor for you and all that? In your workplace, how do you ensure your promotion is not hijacked by people? These things will be taught at the mystical aspect of it, of the platform. So for those who want to learn these things and apply them in their everyday life, then they have to subscribe to the way mystic, where the way mystics, still on the same YouTube, so they can learn this thing. You are going to have different kinds of prayers, different kinds of rituals, different kinds of directions, how to use certain herbs to do what is help for favor, getting different kind of incenses and all that. What's your elemental incense, the gemstone? We are going to learn about the mystics of nature. So that's what we're going to do for that. And then going forward, we're going to have other things coming up like the Way Show. And in the Way Show, I will be doing the interview. So I will be bringing guests that I will interview the guest myself. Now, the Way Show is going to look predominantly at different aspects of human problems. Because we want to deal with human problems. We don't want to sell things not for the sake of money and sell packages that wouldn't bring any transformation to human life. So the Way Show seeks to address realistic human problems. For instance, we look at marriage. We'll bring experts in the area of marriage, and I would engage them, question them, dialogue with them, and then I will give the metaphysical aspect to the natural knowledge they share. So basically, when you are married on the physical plane, and then also there's the subtle aspect of the marriage, which is the non-physical plane. So I'll bring experts to address the physical plane, what you need to do physically as a wife, what you need to do physically as an husband, understanding the persona of your partner, your spouse, and how to handle it. And then I would then grace it with the non-physical aspect of what you need to do at the non-physical level, at the spiritual level, in order to ensure the success and the viability of your marriage. We're going to look at family too. Child upbringing. We're going to look at business. We're going to look at finance. You understand? People complain their monies, they think some spirit is kind of siphoning their money. Some dwarf is and all that.
Money away.
Some dwarfs are kind of siphoning their money and all that. So we're going to look at it in perspective, not in perception. So we bring experts in financial management, and they are going to look at the fiscal aspect of financial moderation, how to grow wealth, how to expand your wealth, and how to multiply your wealth. And then I would be looking at, as I engage them in that dialogue, I'll be looking at the metaphysical aspect of wealth creation. So these are things that will be coming up in this year and the coming year. So our listeners and viewers should get prepared. We are here to give them the best, and by the grace of God and all the cosmic forces, we pray that we are given the grace to be able to do our side of the bargain. So when we are done, we exit.
That is beautiful. Don't scroll. Don't take this video down. Please subscribe so that all this beautiful thing Mr. Mensah is talking about, you benefit from it. It is going to be a good thing for you, and it will change your life. It will give you a shift in your paradigm, in your thinking, in your view of how you look at things, both physical and then the spiritual aspect. Before I ask my questions for why we are interviewing Mr. Mensah for 2026, what has 2026 hold? That means, Mr. Mensah, if I get you right, we have the Way Network show, we have the Way Mystics, and then we have the Way what?
Show itself.
Show itself.
These are the three
What about
developments.
where does the personality development falls?
Also, the personality development basically falls under the Way Network itself.
Okay.
But the Way Network itself is purposely for the development of our persona,
Okay.
from the personality to the transcendental aspect. You understand? So that is purposely. So you develop your personality, then you develop your soul essence, then your spiritual essence. So the Way Network. So if you watch the Way Network, it's always has been about other transcendental meditation, some kind of personality exercises, visualization, imagination, and all that. It's always been that on that line. We don't do too much of mystics thing along there, but sometimes we bring it in there because of the grievances of other people that they bring on board. So now that we want to really streamline them so people can go and subscribe to what they really, really desire. So the personality development falls under the Way Network. The present network we are streaming on.
Yeah.
Then we have created the Way Mystics, where there we talk about mystical knowledge, how to use herbs to do what, how to do bath, how to do infusion, how to do concoction, how to get some ritual knowledge, to do some certain ritual direction and ritual prayers, how to pray with the Psalms and the spiritual aspect of the Psalms and all that. That will be for, so literally we're looking at using the elements of nature, involving them in your prayer line for supernatural happiness. That is where we're going to look at it under the Way Mystics.
So with the Way Mystics, which people are eligible to subscribe or to maybe get into that platform? Is it everybody who is eligible, or is for some category of people?
So the Way Mystics it's an open platform. Yes, anybody that wants to learn, you can go there, subscribe, and then you learn all this. But what I'm trying to say, you should know that when you go there, if you're somebody looking for things has to do with mental development, things that have to do with the development of your emotions, your personality, your senses, something that has to do with this self-development, you're not going to get it in the Way Mystics platform. But the Way Mystics platform is a platform which is designed for those who want to enter into the area of supernatural activities, like petitioning an angel, praying with the Psalms, using the element, what this particular plant, what does it do, what is the magical aspect or the mystical aspect of the plant, because all the plants have their physical properties, the creative properties, and then the mystical properties. So every plants are meant for medicine or for food, they are meant for healing, and also they are meant for supernatural activities or functionalities. So in the mystical platform, these are things they're going to deal with. In the mystical platform, which we call the Way Mystics on YouTube, people are going to learn about this. Our world is engulfed with a lot of entities in this world, both the north, south, east, and west. Every nation has spirits and all that. The spirits of the water, the air, the fire, the earth, and all that. How do you relate with them? How do you petition these spirits and all that? You're going to learn some of these things. You'll be there. Maybe somebody have send some bad hexes or curse or spell against you, your child, your family, whatever it is. How do you reverse it?
Okay.
How do you counteract it? These are things we learn there, and these things are not designed for personal development. They are designed to handle daily activities that has been fired into your space externally, but it doesn't develop. So that's why when somebody is a mystic, that it doesn't necessarily mean the person is spiritually developed or if the person has self-development, but just that a person understands the dynamics of nature and how the elements coordinates and how the elements functions, and he knows the antidote that he can apply to handle what condition under what situation, then he applies them. So that is where the Way Network comes in there. So the Way Mystics comes in. So there are a whole lot of things that will be going on there. So, but they predominantly will be learning recipes. We'll be learning spiritual antidotes. You'll be learning how to deal with entities, beings, and deities, and angelic forces, and all that. Unlike the way network which we are streaming on right now, it's all about knowledge. It's all about developing your personality.
Okay.
It's all about developing yourself. It's all about having spiritual connection to higher intelligences. So here in the mystics, you hardly will be able to be inventive, creative, or innovative.
Okay.
You understand? But in this platform where the personality is being developed, then ultimately connect to your higher self and get to self-realization, there you can develop your persona where you can be inventive, creative, and innovative. So if you're a student and you want to learn to pass your examination, the mystics platform is not for you. What is for you is the personality, because there they teach you how to be retentive, how to assimilate information, keep the information in the mind, and reproduce the information. If you're a business person and you want to grow your business to the next level, then you need the personality development platform, which is what you're streaming on right now, the Way Network, and you need the mystical platform as well, because in the business era, you need your innate ability, your latent abilities to be at play, at the same time competing with other people on the same job market, and the people will be doing all sort of spiritual things to counteract you and to bring your impact down. And so you also must have certain measures to counteract what they are doing. So as a businessman, you need the personality development, and then you need the mystical development as well.
Wow, this is beautiful. In fact, if you are a potential CEO, a businessman, a banker, a worker, everywhere, you need to protect your space, you need to protect yourself, so your promotion is not curtailed by somebody. Somebody will not go and do something mystically against you and you to work. So you need this knowledge to be able to survive and progress in the work life. Now, to question for this show itself is about 2026. What does the year 2026 hold? What does it even mean? What does 2026 mean as a person, as an organization, as an institution? What does 2026 mean for us? Probably Mr. Mensah will be able to help us. Thank you, Mr. Mensah.
Okay, so thank you very much for this question. Yes, 2026, I think in 2025 December, I did extensive talk about that, and we did a whole lot of both personality and mystical exercise combined at the end of the year. So for those who have not watched that video, they should look for the last video we shot. It was a 3-day session, and it was streaming live. So we did cleansing exercises. I explained the dynamics of 2025 transiting to 2026. So there's been extensive information on this particular subject. But howbeit, since you are beginning the year, it's only prudent we begin with a gross overview of what 2026 is all about, and what people should expect and should not expect, and how people should live their lives, and how they should organize themselves, their spouse, their family, friends, relative, and at large society, so we can fully benefit from the vibration or the energy that is in stock in the year 2026. So basically, the year 2026 is, by numerological interpretation, is the number one. When we talk about the number one, people may not understand. So fundamentally, what I'm talking about is that we have 9 numbers plus 0 that makes up every number in this universe. So we have 9 master numbers plus 0 that makes up all the numbers. Every number you see in this world, every figure you see in this world is made up of these 9 numbers. Now, when you come to numerology, certain group of people do not add the number 9, especially when you're using Chadian numerology. Do not add the number 9 when they are doing their calculations. But when you come to the Pythagoras theory, where with the Pythagoras numerology, the number 9 is added. Now, let me explain. The reason why the 9 is not added in the Chadian principle is that with the number 9, it's revered as a divine number. A divine number in the sense that any number that you multiply by 9, you create the answer, and you create the numerological single digit of that 9, you get 9. Any number at random. For instance, 2 times 9 is what?
18.
18. So when we want to create the numerological single digit for 18, it will be 1 plus 8. It gives you 9.
Whoa.
You get the whole thing?
Yeah.
10 plus 9 is how much?
19.
90. 10 times 9
It's 90.
is 90.
Yeah.
9 plus 0 gives you what?
9.
9. 9 times 4. 9 times 5 is how much?
54.
54. 5 plus 4 is how much?
It's 9.
9. So any number at random that you do, it doesn't matter. Any number at random that you calculate and you multiply by 9 and you get the answer, the numerological configuration of that 9 per numerological formula or the formula of numerology still arrives at 9. So then it makes 9 an auspicious number, a divine number. So in Chaldean principle, they don't add the number 9 to the configuration of the numerological calculations.
Okay.
But in Pythagorean principle, they add the number 9. So, but it's quite simple using the Pythagoras. Now, all the numbers we have their vibrational frequency.
Okay.
All numbers from 1 to 9 have their vibrational frequency, in the exception of 0,
Okay.
which is divinity on its own. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9, depending on which principle you are using. If it's Chaldean, no 9. If it's Pythagoras, you add 9. Each number has its own interpretation,
Okay.
and these interpretations are real, whether you believe it or not. They have impact on people. So now, any number that you have, any figure that you have, you break it down to a single digit. And that single digit, you break it down, must fall within that. It must fall within that 9 numbers. Okay, so we say we are using the Pythagoras principle so that people don't get confused.
All right.
So the Pythagoras principle uses it from 1 to 9.
Okay.
So any number, any figure that you have, you must be able to break it down to fall to have any one of the 9 numbers we have in the Pythagoras principle.
All right.
So for instance, so when you take the year 2026, so you are going to break it down. We call it the vein plan. Okay. So you know how the vein is, the base is narrow, so the single digits and then the top is big. So we have 2026. So we have 2 plus 0 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6.
Yes.
So 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 gives you 4, plus 4 gives you 10, plus
4.
6 gives you 10.
Yes.
So let's take it again. 2 plus 0
2
plus 2
4
plus 6 10. So now 10 is still out of the 9 numbers of Pythagoras principle.
Okay.
So we still have to break that 10 down so that we get a digit or a number which falls within the Pythagorean principles of numbers. So then the 10, we need to break it down further. So we are going to have 1 plus 0 equals 1. So that gives you the vibration of the year 2026. So the vibration of the year 2026 is not in 2026, but it is in its calculation in terms of numerology, where it lands us within the principle of if you are using the Pythagoras or you are using the Chaldean or whatever other numerological formula you use.
Okay.
So the vibration of the 1 or the effect of the 1 then tells you what the year holds for you.
Okay.
So if you get to know the interpretation of 1, if you get to know the vibration of 1, the effect that 1 exerts within this our material space, then you are good to go. You understand how to go about your things, what to do and what not to do. So basically that is the year number. The year 2026 is vibrating on the energy of 1.
Okay. Mr. Mensah, this is it. Probably we've looked at the year 2025, transition into the year 2026. So if the year 2026 is 1, does it mean the year 2025 has its own number too?
Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, was the year 2025 number 9, or which number was it?
So yes, per the calculation that we did, if you should calculate the year 2025, then we should get the single digits of the number 9.
9. Okay.
So because you have 2025. So 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 5 gives you 9.
9.
So 2025 was number 9, and 2026 is number 1.
So let's look at it from preview perspective, where 2025, what did 2025 bring, so that if I have that experience in 2025, then I am looking at 2026, this number, to see if really the 9 has an effect on me. So what is the 1 going to have on me as well?
Okay, so when we talk about the 2025, it's more of a year of benevolence, you understand, and then it's a closure of a one full cycle.
Okay.
Because 9 also represents divine completion. I talked to you about the fact that the Chaldeans don't use the number 9 because they see it more of a divine number.
Okay.
That any number that goes into 9, the answer when calculated in numerological formula gives you still the 9.
Okay.
So they see 9 more of as a divine number. So the 9 is more of a divine completion. 9 stands for philanthropy work. 9 stands for humanitarian activities and all that. So when people were predicting that there will be a lot of disaster, there was a lot of chaos and all that, I just told them on 9, the year 2025 is going to end as normal as it should end, because the energy really doesn't push for that kind of agenda. So yes, with the 2025 ended as a whole cycle, and now 2026 is the beginning of a new cycle. Okay. So it becomes an auspicious or a special transition where one whole cycle has come to an end and we are going to begin a new cycle. So then we need, as human beings, need to take advantage of this transition. You get it? Because it's not an in-between transition. This is a whole new transition where we are moving from one cycle to begin a new cycle. Now 2026 ushers us into a new phase of human advancement, human technology, a total change in human way of life. So from 2026 going, there will be a lot of changes in the way we do our things, and it's going to either be for the good or for the bad, depending on how we as humans advance our self-awareness. And that is why I have been focusing a lot attention on developing our personality.
Okay.
Because when such knowledge falls in the hands of an uneducated, unenlightened person, eventually use it for the disadvantage and to the detriment of the collective society.
Okay.
You understand? So 2026 going forward, it's a good year and a bad year, because we're totally starting a new cycle altogether. What is contained in the cycle will be determined by the kind of people who handle the knowledge and the energy that is contained in the cycle.
Wow.
At the individual level, at the family level, at the societal level, at the national level, and at the global level.
Good. Mr. Mensah, you said something that is more intriguing. Like the number one, what effect, you've said it already, but I just want an emphasis. What effect does it have on an individual? Like, if I have to start something, does it mean the number 1 is 1? We only know 1 is the start of everything. 1 is something. So what is the energy of 1? What benefit can individually, society, family, nations derive from 1?
Okay. So the number 1 is influenced by the solar energy. Okay. So when I say the number 1 is influenced by the solar energy, I simply mean that the number 1 is influenced by the sun.
Okay.
And within this our physical space or this material dimension, 1 is the sun is the most powerful energy within this our space. It gives effulgence and life to all things. Without sun, life will practically be impossible on the planet Earth, and is the highest vibration within our Earth space. So 1 takes its effulgence from the sun, represents the solar energy. And we all know solar energy aligns towards business, gives a start to every new thing, reveals things that are hidden in darkness, and ideas is revealed. Whatever you conceive will be revealed by the sun, including things that happen at the subtle dimension of reality. So, for instance, when I say subtle dimensions of reality being revealed by the energy of the sun, when you have a dream, okay, when you have a dream, it takes the sun energy to bring your dream into manifestation.
Okay.
You understand? When I say the sun, it's not the literal sun we see brighten with the ultraviolet rays into our earth space, but I'm talking about the energies that regulates that frequency. They cause things to come into manifestation. So that is why sometimes when you have a dream and you don't want the dream to come into manifestation, you need to do that you need to do before the sun fully come into radiation. Now, you notice that plants, fruits, vegetables all sprout out at night, but the sun reveals them in the day.
Okay.
You understand? The sun reveals them in the day. So by the time you wake up, the fruit is there.
Yeah.
By the time you wake up, the flower has blossomed. So that is the connection between the light and the dark.
Okay.
So the sun, which is represented by the number 1 in numerology, gives the energy of, as you said, to start.
Okay.
You understand? It gives the opportunity for a fresh beginning. It gives the opportunity for a restart. You understand? It gives the opportunity for a reorganization.
Okay.
So if you're a human being, you're a person, you're married, you are as an individual, things that have gone wrong in your life, things that you didn't like happening in your life, if there's any adjustments you need to do, that probably when done right, with the right mentorship, that you can have it manifest in your life, is this year. Because your thought will take form. Whatever you think will take form with the energy of 1.
Okay.
It's going to give it an initiation. Initiation, as people, a lot of people fear the word initiation, especially with we the Christian. Initiation comes from the word to initiate, which simply means to start. You understand? So the energy of 1, which is governing this year, gives people the ability to have their thoughts initiated, to give their thought a start. So then at the individual level, people should be careful of the kind of things they are conceiving in their thought, because lo and behold, if you're not fortunate, it will be initiated. It's going to have a start.
Okay.
So we need to align our energies more towards positivity, or better still, more towards a balance. So as whatever we conceive within our minds, whatever we conceive within our thought, can be sent into the field of our emotions, and then literally can come into manifestation within this manifest reality. This year, no matter how you look at it, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are feeling, will come to fruition. So you need to be careful of the kind of things you are thinking of. And we should be able to sit down to take, we're still in the first quarter of the year, so we should be able to sit down and take an introspective view of our lives and make a deliberate effort to restructure our lives, every aspect of our lives, from our individual lives, our spiritual life as individuals, our business lives as individuals, our health life as individuals, our family lives as individuals, our friendship lives as individuals. We need to sit down and reanalyze and restructure it. Take things out that needs to be taken out because they were not helpful, and bring things on board that needed to be brought on board because you lacked it and created problems for you in the previous year, because the previous year has ended a cycle in your life. So there's no carry over, literally, to say, not to dispute karma. That's a different thing, but it's not a carry over thing. But yes, that energy is there, but the backlog is there. But still, you are given an opportunity to start all over again or restart. For instance, a child writes gets a textbook and he's done some bad stuff in the textbook. In the previous page, he didn't get really much grades and all that. And it's just like, fine, let's close this chapter. It doesn't mean those grades are not there. Those grades are there. The bad performance is there. The awkward writing is there. The haphazard execution of tasks is there. But the teacher said, I want to give you a second chance. Get a fresh page. Restart all over again. As an intelligent student, what you have to do is to take stock of the mistakes you did in your previous pages, so as the new page that you've been given, you don't create the same mess that you created in the previous page. That does not mean the consequences and the marks you had in the previous pages has been erased. They are still there. That then we are going to karma. Okay. They are still there, but this time around they're given an opportunity to make a difference. And so we must do so carefully and consciously and cautiously. Consciously and cautiously.
Wow.
In order to ensure that things that bewildered us, things that bedeviled us in the years past would not repeat itself.
Wow. Wow. This is beautiful. In fact, I told you, if you've not liked, subscribed, or like, just pin it down and share it to others. You can go to the page and type the link or click on the link and share for others to gain this knowledge. It is so powerful. It is something, when you gain it, nobody can take it from you. Therefore, I urge you to follow this page, The Way Networks, and you would be blessed. First of all, I think in the Christendom and other religious practices, one stands for God. I don't know how true this is. One, actually we say God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So one always stands for God. So does it mean in the Christian parlance, one is like God is beginning with us? So this is the year of God where everything is divinely orchestrated.
So if we're relating God to one, God is beyond one because God is beyond the beginning. So obviously one cannot be the beginning. Okay. One cannot be God because God is not the beginning. God created the beginning.
All right.
God is literally, in my opinion and my understanding, God can be attributed to zero.
Okay.
Because zero has no value, yet is the value of all values. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm not getting it that much, but
yeah, what I'm trying to say is that one has no value.
Okay.
Sorry, zero has no value. Obviously, what's the value of zero?
Zero.
Is zero. That means zero has no value. Zero is nothing. Yet zero is the value to all values. So what I'm trying to say, every number, every digit, every figure remains what it is until zero has been added to it.
Okay. Okay.
You understand? One remains one until zero is added to it. When zero is added to one, one then changes to become 10. It has more value. So the value adding is God, because when God is added to your life, there will be value added to your life, or value addition. So God in itself is the zero. It's nothing. Yet it's everything. So God cannot be attributed to one, because one is represented to the light, which is the sun. In the beginning, the earth was null and void, and darkness was there. Darkness is what? It's nothing. It's valueless. It has no value. Yet it is out of the darkness cometh all things visible. So God actually, to me, and my understanding and my perspective to transcendental, theoretical, and metaphysical knowledge, rather God should be attributed to zero rather than one.
Okay.
You understand? Because in the beginning is darkness, which is zero, and he said, let there be light, and light manifested, which is one. And they called that day one. So then he existed before the day one.
Okay.
You understand? So prior to day one was nothing, which is zero. So when you are there, any number that the zero comes after, before the number still remains nothing.
Same.
But when the zero comes after the number adds values, changes, it gets more value. And that is why I've always advocated for self-realization. You understand? Because you are one. You've never been two. You're only one. If you don't realize yourself, any other thing you acquire has no value to you, because God is inside you. But when you realize that God nature, that God essence, you're creating the image and likeness of that divine essence, God, then your oneness comes into manifestation. Now, all other things then begin to add value to your essence. So basically, the one is the beginning, and the beginning is not God.
Okay.
God is beyond the beginning.
Where are you going to get such knowledge? This is so wonderful, and it is mind-boggling because sometimes the explanations are out of the box because we've not comprehend this kind of in-depth analysis of numbers and the God nature that Mr. Mensah is talking about. So it is a good time to be part of this platform to learn more of this, and it will help your life. It will propel your life forward. It will bring acceleration into your life and a lot of things that you've not imagined. That is what is coming to you. Now, Mr. Mensah, in fact, the year 2026 again, what should our plans and imaginations be so that we'll benefit? Like, what energy is the year expecting on us? What is the year bringing to us as individuals, as a country, and as a people as a whole?
Okay, so if you followed my belief system and my way of thinking, you realize that I have always been on opinion that we hold more supremacy in terms of energy than anything that is happening outside of our space. And we as humans, realizing our God nature, we determine things that are supposed to happen or things that are not supposed to happen. So yes, the number one has its own energy, but we have within our being a more profound energy which is beyond one, which is God. So what happens within our space, for me, should not be predominantly predetermined by what is ruling the day, but should be determined by what is ruling us within ourselves.
Okay.
So that we direct how we want the day to be, what we want the number to be, how we want the outcome to be like. So it all begins with our preparation.
Good.
How we go inside as a people to prepare our space, to prepare ourselves, to do the relevant introspection, to assess ourselves as God incarnates, creating the image and likeness of God, create our desires, create our expectation, and our desire and expectation should align with divine purpose for our existence. When these things are properly made, then now we can now externalize that intention. We can now externalize that mindset through visualization and imagination, and then we implant it into the womb of time, awaiting its germination or delivery. So that's the very simple phenomena people can use. It must begin with your assessment. Don't be terrified about the external world. We determine what happens in this world or what should not happen in this world at the individual level and at the collective level. We are sitting here today because we decided to be here. This day is number one, but whether we decide to be here or not, the one has nothing to do for us. But we are here because we chose that we will be here, and today we are here. So we are the gods that are representing or playing the ambassadorial role of the supreme God right here on earth, and we have been part and parcel of this entire creation of this cosmos, unknown to us, because now we have been individualized in this container we call human being. So we've lost our true estate and our true authority and our true place within divine consciousness. So then we seek solace and we seek help and assistances from all these external factors and external influences and whatever you may call external conjurations and calculations and all that. I'm not saying they don't work. They do work, but they only work on people who have not developed their awareness, who have not realized themselves, who have not realized their divinity. Yes, in as much as I did all those calculations for people, I don't sit down to think of number one. I'm thinking of what I want the world to be, what I want the day to be, what I want this month to be, and what I want this year to be. And that is what really, really matters to me, because I am the master craftsman of my life, of what is happening within my space in connection with the divine craft energy, which we call God. So I don't want people to be terrified or influenced, and they become more of reliant on this external ideology which is flying all over the internet and all that. They can tell you all the good things. Are you telling me, okay, let's say for instance, the year is number one, isn't it? It's supposed to give us a good start.
Yeah.
So, do you tell me that everybody wants to start a business can start their business this year? Obviously, no.
If you are not prepared.
If you're not prepared, so it all begins with you.
Okay.
All the people want to buy a car, can they buy their car this year?
No.
All the people want to own their houses, can they own their houses this year?
No.
Obviously, no. So in real, and I like to deal with empirical, practical, real-time situations and evidences.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with theories and ideologies and principles. You understand? Because yes, it is there, but it's subject to certain influences, and that greater percentage of that influences is within our being.
Wow.
And you see, the pathetic situation is what we teach, people don't get it. You understand? We keep telling people it all begins with you. It doesn't matter what water element, fire element, air element, whatever deity, marine spirit, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what demigod, what shrine, it doesn't really matter.
Wow.
What really matters begins with our development and with our enlightenment. That's why Socrates said something, and I like that profound statement that Socrates made. He said, "Man, know thyself, for thou art like thirsty fishes in water." So people come with all this. I did astrology. I studied astrology a little bit. I studied numerology a little bit. I understand the dynamics of numerology, and I understand the dynamics of astrology to a certain extent. I can do the calculation of people's persona, people's soul edge, soul expression. I can calculate your life path. I can calculate your day birth influences. I can calculate your karmic retribution influences. Yes, I have an idea. I can do all those things. Does it bother to me? No. To me, it doesn't. I don't really sit down to think about it because I believe that there's an energy which is more profound. There's a power and there's a knowledge which is more profound than all this knowledge. You understand?
Yeah.
And that knowledge is the knowledge of the Christ that dwells within our essence. And if you can reach out to this Christ, which is within our essence, we can control all these things. And it doesn't matter what number is at play. You know, there are predictions of years that will be catastrophic. But you know, that year is the year that people had their best luck.
Oh, wow.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
I'm getting it.
There are years that by the numerological calculation, it predicts doom and catastrophic experiences. But that year will be the year of somebody's biggest hit.
This reminds me of a man who said the year that Corona came, 2019, 2020, was the year he had his biggest breakthrough. He became a millionaire. He didn't even dream of it.
Yes, and I saw a car in East Legon, and the number plate was coronavirus.
You can imagine.
You understand? So, as I've always said, all these things are there. You understand? When you subject your will to them, they have influence and they control your life. When you transcend them, you control them and use them to your advantage.
Mr. Mensah, this brings me to this question. Because I'm a pastor, I want to ask this question. So, how does our dominion mandate plays in all this?
When you say dominion mandate, please.
I mean, when God created man, he gave man dominion to take charge of everything, rule over them, care for them, and have dominion over all these things.
Yeah.
So, are we using the dominion mandate, or we are just following the calculation of the year and so on?
So, the dominion mandate, yes. If you should ask, I cannot give you a straightforward answer because it's relative depending on your race, your jurisdiction, where you're coming from. Some people are doing a fair, good use of the dominion mandate, and others are just playing the back row game. You understand? And when I say others, you understand those who are making a fair use of the dominion mandate and those who are playing the back row game. And now, if you study the paradigm, you notice that those who are making fair use of the dominion mandate are people that even don't care about all these things much. And those who really get their heads worried over all these things are the ones that are not taking advantage of their dominion mandate, as you may put it, or as you put it. Because divinity, well, when you call it God, it makes it have more of a personified nature. Because when you give something a name, it becomes personified and becomes limited, and God is limitless. So the infinite force, the limitless intelligence we have called God, has endowed within our being, during the process of our manifestation, limitless potential, abilities, and powers that gives us that ambassadorial role of a sublime intelligence state within limited material confinement. And we are not being able to use it. Do you know now there's one man colonizing Mars? One man.
Really?
He hasn't got gold. He doesn't run a country. He doesn't have human population as human resource capacity. He hasn't got bauxite. He hasn't got lithium. He hasn't got nothing. Out of the intelligence within his being and the knowledge he has acquired, and depending on what you call the dominion mandate, is now colonizing Mars.
Wow.
When I say colonize, he's taking charge of Mars and making Mars rehabitable again. And you see a continent that has gold, bauxite, manganese, oil, and they cannot take care of its people.
Have human resources.
Have limitless human resources, over 30 million human resources. Have all the experts and all the intellectuals, all the school credentials and everything, and we can't take care of even our community. We can't even talk about roads. We can't even talk about anything. So it doesn't matter which dispensation in which you are. It doesn't matter in which environment you find yourself. It doesn't matter in which jurisdiction you find yourself. If you're unable to realize that your inner ability, if you're unable to realize that your divine given potentials and latent powers, which is embedded within your being, you are going to struggle in life. And you're going to struggle not because you are created to struggle. You're going to struggle simply because you have refused to get knowledge. And what kind of knowledge? The knowledge of yourself. That's what the Bible says, that for lack of knowledge people perish.
Wow. So it is incumbent on us to develop ourselves
100%.
so that we can have the intuition, we can benefit from our own intuition, we can benefit from our own imaginations, we can benefit from our own visions, and so on.
Yes. It's very, you see, we have something they have called it psychic abilities, but these are subtle intelligences that divinity plays within ourselves. Like some of them you mentioned: imagination, ability to have an imaginative mindset, the ability to visualize, you understand, to bring back certain things in a pictorial format in memory, the ability to develop telekinesis, the ability to develop clairaudience, the ability to develop clairvoyance, the ability to develop vision, the ability to develop recognition, the ability to develop precognition. All these things are mentioned, about which psychology calls it psychic abilities, which is latent within every human being. The greatest harm ever done to humanity is for schools not to teach us how to harness these abilities. But this is the real abilities we need to have control within this material space, and to be able to exhibit and express what you called, or what you describe as, the divine mandate. Is it the divine mandate you call it?
Dominion mandate.
The dominion mandate. That's more theological oriented in a way. I understand you're coming from a pastoral background. So these are the abilities, the subtle abilities that we need to harness, which is there. Everybody has it. For us to be able to exhibit this dominion mandate of having dominion and subduing creation. When you lack these things, there's no way you can subdue creation. If you lack these things, just a chicken or the barking of a dog will scare you away. You understand? Fear will engross you and enslave you.
Wow.
Doubt will be your master and your dictator. You understand? Cowardice and all the negatives of life will be your trailblazer, setting the pace for you to follow. And the entirety of your life will be bound in shallows and in misery, will be bound in pain and with frustrations, because you've refused to harness these latent abilities. And every soul has it. And that is why I always push that. When I talk about personality development, people don't get it. People think they think they're going to participate in a course to develop mystical, magical, and they speak some angel will be flying with they're flapping their wings and all that. They are more potential, that are more profound than angel flapping their wings or dealing with mythical creatures. Now, these mythical creatures come into play because you have refused to use that divine aspect of you. So you sought for supernatural intervention. The things we talk about, they are not supernatural interventions. These are divine. And because there's a clear distinction between divine and supernatural. The supernatural is subservient to the divine.
Okay.
So angels, deities, and all that, they are all supernatural beings, supernatural entities, and they are supposed to serve the divine. And the reason why they respond to our call is because the divinity is inside of us, and they are subject to respond to divinity. So when you sit to do angelic invocation, you sit to pour libation, you sit to do something, anything you do to a supernatural soul, they respond simply because there's something in you that they have to respond to that thing, and that thing is divine.
Wow.
And those are the things we need to develop. And that's why I tell them that develop your personality, which is the first stage. And you grow the development of your personality to your soul development and to your spiritual development, which is transcendence.
Okay.
And when you're able to attain that, you don't care about whether the number is 0 or 4 or 10 or 11 or 12. You don't care about it because you control the number. You understand? You shift the dynamics of the number. You understand? You become the master craftsman of the numbers. So it is only baby thinking when people place so much emphasis on numerology. I'm not saying numerology is not there. They work. I believe in them, but they are not the master.
Wow.
I'm not saying astrology is not there. They work because the constellations are there and they're having their influences. We call them the celestial bodies.
Okay.
They're having their influences and they are there. But who can they influence? They influence only the ignorant person. That's what Bible says something in the book of, I think, Psalm. Also, the sun shall not smite you by day, neither will the moon by night. That means there are certain people.
91.
Yes, there are certain people. When they say the sun shall not smite you by day, neither will the moon by night, they are trying to the sun, which is the constellation of the celestial body that has influence over the sun, cannot have influence over you. So if we are saying that the number one is an influence by the sun, and the Bible says there are certain people that the sun cannot have influence over them, and then there are certain people that the number one cannot control them.
They have to control.
They have to control the number one.
And this one comes with developing your personality.
Develop your personality, developing your soul, then ultimately developing your spiritual nature, which is called transcendence.
Wow. Wow. Back to year 2026. What does it have for our society and then the country Ghana at large? Because I'm very biased because of Ghana and the world.
Okay, so basically, the story is not too bad. You understand? Yet, even though the story is not too bad, we make the story a reality. You get the whole thing. We make the story a reality. As we talk right now, 2026 is supposed to be a year of new beginning. And what did US begin with? Iran.
Venezuela,
Iran too. They went to bomb Iran. I
really?
learned, yes.
I haven't heard of it.
I learned recently they bombed Iran.
Wow.
Then they started cut the president. So yes, it's everybody say number one is a good number, has positive influence, gives a new start and all that. But they are starting it in an evil way, or not even literally evil, but they're starting in the wrong way. Are you understanding me? So it still boils down to the point I'm trying to reiterate, is that we determine how the outcome will be like. We have the full mandate. It doesn't matter what is has in stock. If the people within the space that the universe is trying to exert positivity are negatively oriented, then the outcome will still be negative.
Wow.
If the mindset of the people is backward, then you're still going to have a backward race and a backward generation. You understand?
I do.
So it doesn't matter the kind of leadership that you have. It doesn't matter the kind of mindset. What really matter is the kind of nature of people you have that are running. Like today, they showed me something in my vision. I don't want to talk about it, about this our country. And I wonder why people would do that. You understand? Just to ensure the failure of a government, you go to the extent of doing something that would disorient to create so that you can have a topic to discuss when it comes to politics.
Wow.
You understand? But like for us, I don't want to go into politics. I see so many things in my visions, but I don't want to go into politics with it. Yeah. So, but it still remains that humans changes the world. You understand? It's either you are changing the world or the world is changing you. So we have to choose one. Are we going to allow the world to change us, or are we going to change the world? My brothers and sisters, you have the power within yourself. Don't be too much, be carried away by the numbers, and people have defied the odds. We've seen people prayed and the sun stood still and the earth refused to evolve and rotate and wobble. We've seen people pray and conjure the celestial bodies and rain ceased. How we've seen people, we've done some too before regarding the rains. You understand? We've seen contractors work and it's rainy season, they stop the rain in that vicinity for many years. We have seen it, not in Moses' time, in this our time.
Wow.
You get what I'm trying to say? We've seen people push, when you go to Temahabo, the whole sea, that people worship the sea, they push the sea aside and then build in the sea.
Wow.
So man has been endowed with so much power. But in the state of the powerless nature of man tends to seek solace in external powers. Then you'll be worried about, you must understand the dynamics. You get it? You must understand the dynamics. Because for you to control the dynamics, you must understand the dynamics. You cannot control a game you don't understand how it's playing out. And that is what I've done. All you need to understand is what I've explained to you. What number one stands for, what are the influences, where its energy is coming from. So if you want to influence something in the year 2026, you deal more with the sun's energy.
Okay.
And you have the power to command the sun. When I say the sun, not the literal round thing you see there. We're talking about their energies and their beings on the sun.
Okay. So now, how do we have the benefit of the sun, which is number one is the sun's energy? How does those powers, those spirits that controls the literal sun, help the human activities on earth?
Yes, actually, they are there to help us in the first place because they give life and effulgence to everything. They give plants life to produce oxygen for us. They give us the opportunity to see. They give us the opportunity to feel warm and all that. So they are doing so much for us already in the first place that we don't even relate to them and thank them or petition them and acknowledge them. So already they have been playing their role all this while, as long as you know, and we just don't even, a lot of people doesn't even know. They have no idea about it. All they know is just pray, fast, and all that. So there are a lot of exercises like the sun gazing, which you need to do it cautiously under proper supervision so that you don't have the side effect a certain time before 7 a.m. or so. There's a sun gazing. There's a lot of solar prayers and solar rituals you do, which is directed towards the energy of the sun. That gives you higher influences to be able to petition the forces that control the sun. And it's just like we have moon rituals, there are also sun rituals.
Okay.
So just as you have moon rituals, which is the feminine energy, we have the sun rituals, which is the masculine energy. But very few is known about the sun rituals, but a lot is known about the moon rituals. The reason why a lot is known about the moon rituals is because the moon is the one that brings about ultimate manifestation in this physical dimension of reality, because it's closer to our earth plane and it governs feminism. Feminism also governs manifestation.
Okay.
So the sun gives its energy to the moon. The moon see to it that manifestation takes place as per the kind of energies it assimilates from the sun. You understand? So basically, that's how it works. Like, but to them who can deal directly with the sun, that's it. So the energy is sent to the moon. Now, what a lot of people doesn't know is that when you look at our theological established church, mosques, and all that, we look at their emblems and their designs. So you either build aligning to the sun or build aligning to the moon.
Wow.
But this a lot of people doesn't know. But
So-
David says something. Where will I lift up my eyes? Well, I lift up my eyes onto
The
Mount
hills.
Zion, on the hills.
Where
In
cometh
those
my
days, for there cometh my help. In those days, the Mount Zion was in the east,
help. Wow.
and the sun sets in the east.
Rises from the east.
Yeah, sorry, the sun rises from the east. And that's where power comes from. So say, I'll lift up my eyes to the sun.
hills. Where cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord.
So the Lord radiates through the sun.
Wow.
So David said he would lift up his eyes to the hills, to Mount Zion. And Zion was where the sun rises.
From.
So literally, I'll lift up my eyes onto where the sun rises.
From.
For there the Lord's energy cometh forth. You understand? So it's we live in a world of codes and mystery. And you must understand the codes and mystery of this life. And do you know, as we talk right now, there are people who doesn't understand astrology. You know that?
I don't know anything about astrology.
Yes. And there are people who doesn't understand numerology. They don't know anything about numerology. They don't know calculate about numerology. But whatever they desire, they will get it. Their plans for this year, they will materialize it.
Definitely. So, Mr. Mensah, I don't want this to go too deep to confuse people, but if this year is ruled by the sun, can we stand on the sun, pray, and we'll get our manifestation? What should we do? Especially if we want something good to come our way.
When you stand on the sun and you pray to the sun, that is idol worship. Because you are worshiping the divine creature rather than reverencing the divine.
Okay.
We have been admonished not to worship idols. Idol simply means worshiping anything which is a creature rather than the creator. So we don't need to pray to the sun, you understand? But we can pray through the sun.
Okay.
You understand? Because the sun has beings and energies on them, and they also pay obeisance to the supreme Godhead.
Okay.
So we can pray through the sun. It's the intentions, you understand, using the sun as a medium. Let's say, for instance, when I go to the water to pray to the water, but I'm not praying to the water as my God, but I'm using it as a medium for fulfillment of a mandate that has been assigned to it by the Creator.
Okay.
So, for instance, when you go to the Minister of Agric and you send a letter to Agric, either it can be sent to the President. There are people who don't go to the Minister of Agric, who goes directly to the President, and the letter will be forwarded to the Minister of Agric. But howbeit, you can still petition the Minister of Agric because the President has mandated the Minister of Agric to see to the responsibilities and to the roles of agriculture in the country. So they have the mandate, the presidential mandate, to foresee agricultural activities.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
So you don't go there and revere the agric minister as the president, because there is a superior authority to the agric minister who gave the mandate. But you can refer through the agric minister for him to apply the mandate that was granted to him or her by the Supreme Lord, which is the president,
Okay.
to get that your desire fulfilled. In the event where there is they discomply, you cannot petition the higher authority. So likewise, the sun, the moon, the water, the air, all those energies has been endowed with certain potentials to foresee certain activities within this manifest world. And then we can seek for their their engagement to the fulfillment of our petition by trying to supplicate them and not to worship them,
Okay.
not to pay obeisance to them. You get it? Our supplication, our obeisance goes to the divine.
I see. Viewers and listeners, I told you it is only on this platform you can get this in-depth analysis, in-depth knowledge, in-depth powerful learnings, which for me it is an eye-opener and a mind-blowing. I'm so enthralled right now. So what you can do for you to be a conduit to other people, so you will benefit, other people will benefit, is to subscribe to the Ways Network and then like and share the link to other people. Put it on your stats, put it on your page, and other people will get to know this knowledge and it will benefit them a lot. Mr. Mensah, not to conclude, but to ask up a follow question, because it's like I am probing this one, because individually, what do we get? What do we do? What do we benefit from the year and so on? But anytime I ask the question, like, it takes you to another level. So I just want to know individually, apart from developing ourselves, which we are not there, apart from knowing all this knowledge which are powerful for individual upliftment and so on, transcendental and so on, what should we as an individual do for this year so that his or her businesses, her life will be established for him or her to get that benefit?
Okay, so for this year, in order to have the benefits, you must first align yourself to positivity.
Okay.
And then be positive minded. First of all, do proper introspection. Sit down and then assess your life from the past, and then think of what you intend to achieve in the future, and then sit down and draw a master plan, get a blueprint of the way forward, and be positive about it. Once you're able to do that, then the next thing you need to do is to be able to have a sense of gratitude.
Okay.
Live with positive virtues. You understand? You know, be honest. Be exercise unconditional love. Be grateful for your life. That is gratitude. Be compassionate. You understand? Have respect for all life. Be truthful. All these things, when you put them together, are generating some level of positive vibration that aligns you to goodness. And once you align to goodness, you begin to magnetize the things that you so desire.
Wow.
And you are able to fulfill your intentions. Now, wherever you go, whenever you wake up, and whenever you're going to go to sleep, always have your intention in mind.
Okay.
That is what you seek to achieve in the year 2026. Wake up with it, sleep with it, walk around with it, because where your attention goes, your energy flows, and that is where manifestation takes place. If you think of goodness all the time, goodness will come to you.
Okay.
If you think of ill all the time, ill comes to you. If you think of friendship, friendship comes to you. As a man thinketh, so is he.
Yes.
So we must, throughout the year 2026, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to become, whatever you want your family to become, begin to see it. Create the intention and hold on to that intention. Don't lose out on that intention. And I can promise you that that intention would manifest, coupled with a life of virtue, living a life of gratitude, a life of unconditional love, a life of forgiveness, a life of being non-judgmental, a life of humility, a life of honesty and truthfulness, a life of compassion. You are harnessing huge levels of positive vibrations that will compel your thought to come into manifestation.
Wow. Hey, this one here is heavy. Oh. Is that what we call, or they call, positive energy or positive?
Yeah, positive thinking or
Positive thinking,
positive vibration.
positive vibration, positive frequencies. So I think
It's
one
one of
day,
the simplest way to get a positive vibration is to live a more virtuous life.
wow,
That's why the Bible talks more about living a virtuous life, a
Virtues.
virtuous woman, and all that. The virtues of the spirit, they call it the gift of the spirit. Actually, the gift of the spirit, the virtues of the spirit, and they talk about the gift, the works of the flesh, and the works of the flesh also has to do with the low vibrational energy of the flesh, covetousness, anger, bitterness, lasciviousness, malice, and all that, because they are low in vibration and they begin to bring you down. And talk about the gift of the spirit is love, compassion, forgiveness. It raises you up and you align with divine love and with divine energy, and then whatever you want comes. And the biggest problem of our people or humanity is we are unable to align.
that is one of the biggest word, alignment. How do we align?
Yeah, I just gave you one.
We should think positive.
Act
We
positive,
should love.
live a life of gratitude,
We should
live a life
forgive.
of
We should
virtue,
be
forgive people and all
grateful.
that.
Wow.
Because the more you do that, you bring your energy together. Because everything you're thinking about in life, and you must always think about it in energy, vibration, and frequency. Everything you think is energy, vibration, or frequency. It doesn't matter what you think. This house is vibration, energy, and frequency. Your shirt is energy. Your ring is energy. Your shoes are energy. Your thoughts are frequencies. Your emotions are vibration. So everything around you is vibration. All the solid wall is energy. You understand? That's why you need energy to lift the blocks and all that. So everything you think about energy, vibration, and frequency, and that's how you align. It's either you are depleting the energy, which we call the negative vibe, or you are building up with the energy. We call it the positive vibes, and all has to do with the way you live your life. And when these things have been aligned, that is when you apply principles of mystic formulas, they begin to work. And that's why a lot of people do the spiritual bath, they do the oil, they do that. They still don't have
Nothing happens.
nothing happens. They are going to their tree mountains, a Chia mountain, to pray, and they come back still the
Nkoko
same.
Mountains.
They go to Nkoko mountains to pray, and they come back, nothing changes. They go to Soul Travels, they come back, nothing really happens. They go to whatever they call ayahuasca, they come back, nothing happens, because their energy is not aligned. And you can't align your energy in 7 days. You can't align your energy in 1 week. You can't align your energy in 2 weeks or 1 month. It's a daily practice of gratitude, honesty, sincerity, compassion, unconditional love, truthfulness, humility, kindness, forgiveness. These are energy aligning virtues. When you live this life, coupled with proper meditation practices and positive mindset, positive emotion, and all those things will culminate to the lifting up of a vibration. Now, with the slightest thing, you begin to have ayahuasca when you've not even dreamt of ayahuasca. You begin to soul travel when you have not sat down to consciously do soul travel. You begin to experience soul astral projection when you have not, because your energy has aligned. And I can tell people without doubt that as long as you do not, I repeat, as long as you do not align your energy, if you want to have a soul experience, you have to use chemical processes. You have to use psychedelic drugs. You have to take in drugs, concussions. You have to smoke marijuana and all that. Just you can have the soul experience. And that is an illusion. That's a forceful projection of the soul. And that is not a reality. Unfortunately, that is the truth. An aligned soul is naturally a soul that can move out of the body and move into the body at will.
Wow.
That is an aligned soul. Because the soul itself is self-obliged, ubiquitous light. So it can project everywhere, anywhere, at any time. Multiple places at the same time. You understand? You don't need all this forceful. And the reason why, even after using this forceful means of projecting the soul, that only happens within the state of intellect. You still have to come back into nothingness. And that's why people do all these projections, they do all these soul travels and all that, and they do all this as ayahuasca and all that, and they still come back and they realize that nothing has changed. Their husband is still recalcitrant, their children are still recalcitrant, their wives are still the problem, and the work is still the same thing. And sometimes even their problem become even worse. So sometimes we'll talk about real ayahuasca and sutra, what actually it is, and the effect of using a falsified way, enforcing, subverting the law of nature, and using a crude by force way to project the soul, the effect that comes with it. You understand? And that's the ultimate truth. Because when you even project, we're not talking about that one. Yeah, so let's drop that one. So when you are aligned, you begin to build positive vibration energy. Now, whatever good is held within the womb of time in the year that you exist as at the time, they begin to gravitate towards you. Like having a magnet, and the year is made up of iron filings. Your magnet is closed up. The filings don't count. But when you align the magnet, naturally, the iron filings begins to attract. So what we have installed in the year are like iron filings, and you are the magnetic field. Activate your magnetic field and align it towards the iron filings, and you naturally begins to attract them and begins to draw them into your energy field. It's what it is. But unfortunately, our people don't want it. Our people don't want to learn. Our people want something all of a sudden, magic. And as long as we have this mindset as a people, we're going to suffer and we're going to struggle with life. And that's the only reason why Africans are struggling. We are not spending time to develop ourselves. We are not spending time to develop our children. We are not spending time to develop the citizens of Africa. And because of that, everybody wants to depend on some mystical, some astrological, some numerological sudden event of abrupt redemption.
Quick fix, fast food.
And it's going to get you sick. You understand?
Yeah.
Because our system is designed for process.
All right.
The human system is designed for process. That's why everything about a human being is a process. That's where the food goes, gets to saliva, gets to the saliva, mixed with the saliva, digestion takes place, goes to the esophagus, gets to the stomach, there's a breakdown, there's assimilation, there's another process through the colon, then there's defecation.
Wow.
The human system is a system of progress. Anything you do forcefully, I can tell you without doubt, will be detrimental to your life.
Wow.
It be used to force. They are here. At the long run, will be detrimental. A best sell.
Wow. I believe you've not heard this before, and there's no platform here in Ghana or wherever in the world that you'll be hearing this in-depth explanation and explicit analysis of what the year holds, what is incumbent on you to do so that you align yourself, you develop yourself, and you become a better person, a better version of yourself. Now, my last question, then we bring this broadcast to a close. Now that we know that we have to align, we have to do everything. When you align and you begin to attract, sometimes I've listened to this adage that if you want a man's real character, you should give him power or give him money, and you see a real character of the person. So when you begin to attract all these good things, how should you behave? What should be your behavior? Should you continue to be in alignment and be that good person you are, or your real character will show up when God begins to bless you with the benefits of the year?
Yeah, so basically, there's a song, I think, by James Brown. My father introduced me to the song when I was very young, and I started making money, and a lot of friends started coming around me, and they'll come to sit in my office, wait when it's 4:35, we chat a little, and every night this has been happening because they know that every night by the time they leave, everybody's going to get local fuel. So one day my father called me and told me that you can never know your true friends until you are down and out. And he said I should listen to the song. I think it was sung by James Brown. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. And my father told me, just like you said, that if you want to know the true character of the person, wait till he gets money, fame, and power. That's what my father told me. If you want to see the character of a true person, wait till the person gets money, fame, and power. So yes, you see, the truth of the matter still remains one, and that a man who is developed his personality and has developed his soul, money, fame, and power doesn't change a person. At worst, he makes him a better person. Okay. When you see a person who has not developed his personality, when money and fame